Hi there, and welcome to the ATS podcast with me, Will Brown, and John Soulsby, where we break down chunks of health and fitness information into bite-sized pieces, remove a bunch of the noise, and just leave what's relevant. Today we're on episode 43, and we're talking about the future of wearable fitness technology. It's actually quite a cool topic.
Yeah. Um,
You want to kick us off, John? You've got a Swift,
I do have a Zwift. Yeah.
or whatever
I
it's
suppose
called.
it's like the wee fucking bike turbo banner.
What's the
Um,
what's the thing that you wear again? What was that called? Like your chest
like I've
drape
got
thing.
a chest heart rate monitor. That I've got a Polar chest heart rate monitor, and I've got a watch as well. But the
Hmm.
chest one's pretty cool. Um, but I suppose like the power of that is all the stuff I have for that goes connects to my. I've got a little computer on my bike that all connects up to. So each individual thing doesn't have to do much work, but the computer does loads. And I generally almost don't know how much more data they can give you. Because I don't I need lol. I'm not, but you can get like parameters and everything, so it can tell you exactly how much watts you're putting out every pedal stroke on each pedal, like 90 times a minute, like it. So and then you get your heart rate, and you get speed, distance, all this stuff. I'm not sure how much more information you can get from a wearable. I'm sure someone will figure it out. It can give you your currently watches can give you your sats, but I'm not overly. I don't overly trust that because sometimes it says
Your
my
what? Sorry.
oxygen saturation, like
Oh,
my
oxygen
blood
saturation.
oxygen. Yeah, and sometimes it's like 92%, and I'm like, I know that if I was in hospital, they would be potentially worried about that as a healthy young man at 92%. That would be like they'd be like, that's interesting. But so like if that's happening when I'm exercising, that's a bit worrying.
Do you want a funny an O2 saturation story that's quite? I was using it to stress out one of our clients yesterday, who's a nurse.
Nice. Yep. Here we go.
Mainly she was already stressed out because I had forgotten my inhaler. I'm a lifelong asthmatic. I'd forgotten my reliever,
Mhm.
and the drop in temperature can sometimes get me a little bit wheezy. Specifically in our gym, cause it is a more dusty environment than where I live. Uh, that is all. However, I'd forgotten it, but I'm usually not that bothered when I forget my inhaler because I'm like, I've got backups. I've got backups
Yeah.
and like backups to backups. However, my backup was empty.
Oh
It
no.
literally had about one good use in it and then it was empty and I was like, snap. The back when I got OG recipe glass bottle COVID back in February, uh, the point at which I decided to go to the hospital was when the sat tracker I'd ordered off Amazon said my blood O2 was 88. And I was like,
Yeah.
I really don't feel that well at all. Like, and these asthma meds are not making a dent in my ability to breathe. I think I might go to the hospital. Uh, and they were also deeply concerned,
Yep.
unsurprisingly. I was like, yeah, this really fucking sucks. This is unfun.
Yeah.
The
So
talking about
yeah,
wearable fitness tech, have also found that you can get fucking smart swim goggles that have like a heads-up display in them. That's dope.
that's pretty sick. Maybe that would be a cool thing for like cycling and stuff. You'll be able to see the road ahead of you. Oh, that's pretty cool. One
It,
thing that is quite cool that's come out recently for cycling, it's not a wearable tech, but it goes on your bike. So I'm going to put that down as wearable. Um, so it's a rear light by Garmin, and it's extortionate, but it's got a radar on the back of it.
mhm.
So it'll tell you when a car is coming up behind you and how fast it's going. So you aren't about to get buzzed by someone going 70 miles an hour without knowing. It will like come up and you're like,
That's quite wild.
and the new one has a camera on it. So if a van or car like buzzes you too close, it will like automatically record it. So you can like send it to the police,
Oh, that's pretty
which is
fucking
kind
cool.
of like snitchy, but also,
Dash cams for bikes.
yeah, but also it does get a bit rowdy sometimes. So
Yeah, I was about to say people literally are like don't understand that just because your car can fit does not make it an accurate cycle pass. You have to give them like
yeah,
six feet of space or whatever the fuck
yeah.
it is. like room enough to fall
Six,
over.
6 feet is good, but if I could reach out and knock on your window, bad.
Correct, yeah. the the I don't wear that much fitness tech. I have a step counter thing. That is pretty much all I use, just to track my steps because, as we've spoken about before, it's probably the most accurate, measurable that is both accurate that a device can accurately it is close to correct on how many. Like
Yeah.
you get some people on a treadmill with a wrist tracker and you measure them out 10,000 steps and then see how many the watch counts. Like the watch counts accurately, reasonably enough.
Yeah.
Versus the calorie expenditure stuff on watches, which is horrifically inaccurate. So
Oh,
inaccurate
it's
that it's
terrible.
essentially not worth looking at.
It is
Because,
sometimes fun though. You're like,
I
oh, I
mean,
burned 3,000 calories doing that. Like,
yeah,
oh,
you're
cool.
like, I did you? Like,
I mean, you didn't.
without using a gas exchange, it would be very
I was
difficult.
just literally just about to say. So sorry to like completely interrupt. Like, I'm literally was my next point of like the first time a training mask could be useful
Yeah, literally, it's not an altitude
is if I
mask;
could
it's a gas
no,
exchange mask.
if we could do a gas exchange and then you'd be like, you burnt fucking exactly this many calories.
Oh, bro, if you got fucking, I can't imagine how much the first generation of those would cost.
Yeah,
If
but
you
then also
wanted,
like, what's the point?
you just buy
You
the
would
lab
find it out.
equipment.
Yeah, but also you just like find out and be like, all right, cool. I'll just go eat loads anyway. That's all right.
Yeah,
Like it's not going to be overly useful, is it?
I think the one thing that a lot of people, one thing that's kind of popular in wearable fitness tech is the $1 million question that I don't think they have answered yet. At least I'm not aware of it because it literally would be a gajillion-dollar idea. Is a way to accurately track readiness to train consistent with performance outcomes. Like, if you develop some kind of test where, like, fucking Man U players or whatever rock up at the facility in the morning, they take the test, and it's like, oh, this person is X% ready to train or can train at this percentage capacity and still be okay for a predetermined date where you need them to be 100% or something, like some kind
Yeah,
of feed forward. Like all these kind of training metrics are always like feedback. Like you wait, like after you have done something, it tells you accurately what you did
yeah. So
versus predictive readiness or predictive outcome.
the closest thing that there is, I would say, is Whoop. If you've heard of that,
Yeah, I have. These are the belts and
yeah,
stuff, right?
it's a watch, but yeah, um, but it's not a watch actually because it doesn't tell you the time, but it's effective. It's like a wrist like monitor, and it gives you a percentage recovery readiness every day, and it's based on like your orthostatic heart rate, which is like your heart rate variability in the morning, um, your sleep, and a bunch of other stuff. But it doesn't like predict, so it couldn't be like if you do X, Y, and Z, you'll be
Yeah,
this recovered. But like after months, you can essentially look back on the data and be like, well, if I do X, Y, and Z, I will be 100% recovered, in theory, by tomorrow
yeah.
or by
Like
2 days
in
time.
theory, you can use it like retroactively. Like you can observe the data trends and attempt to use that to predict future outcomes.
But yeah,
Uh,
there's nothing. It
but
doesn't quite give you the.
yeah, as fucking
It's also extortionate.
yeah, yeah, oh, I imagine so. I was about to say, as anyone who attempts to track the stock market or plays fantasy football will know, uh, past outcomes do not often predict future outcomes.
No.
They quite often do, but not always. Whereas if you had something that is essentially some sort of fucking performance divination spell, that is what you're ultimately kind of looking for. Because if you invent that, have literally all the money that sports in the world can throw at you because you deserve it. Because it's a really difficult question to ask.
Yeah. But I think Whoop's probably the closest to that. Just but yeah, it can't predict anything going forward. But
Yeah, and data is useful. Like you can really kind of predict future outcomes, like roughly. Like you can kind of predict how things will go based on prior experience and other stuff, but it's just all the yeah, it's more just a kind of data collection device rather than an outcome predictor
yeah,
device. Whereas if you manage to somehow invent the tech for outcome predictive, like the average fitness enthusiast can wake up wearing the thing
yeah,
and it can be like, oh well, if you like number one, your breakfast needs to contain this based off your stats currently, like wild. Like, based on previous data and what we aim to do going forward, your breakfast needs to contain these things. Probably pick some of these foods. You are currently this ready to train if you do that, and this ready to train if you don't. Um, yeah, that would be a game changer. Um, although heads-up display, fucking swim goggles, pretty cool. I hadn't realized they've actually invented like headphones that you can wear in the pool, so you can actually listen to music when you swim. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, we've got like it, if it's the same ones like the Aeropex ones, they're like bone conducting as well. So they're really good for cycling because you can hear like the roads and stuff and have tunes on, which is pretty
Nice.
cool.
I did always find that a bit wild with cycling. It's like on like a motorbike, you're going too fast to hear anything anyway. There's
Yeah,
also an engine under your legs. But on like an actual cycle bike, you probably do want to keep your wits kind of, your hearing kind of about. But
yeah, it's really
then
good
it
for that.
gets kind of boring because you're not listening to banging tunes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's us for the kind of future of wearable fitness tech. I think all of us would like to see those kinds of predictor outcome things as much as it would be. I think it would be super dope for professional sports to get that predictive and that kind of optimized even more, which is pretty sick. And we will see you guys in the next one.
Right.